One of the questions frequently asked by patients who experience the effects of acupuncture is, how on earth did ancient people discover the existence of acupuncture points and the pathways of energy flow 2,000 years ago? It's truly amazing. I'm also curious about how they discovered these acupuncture points and energy pathways, which even modern medicine hasn't fully elucidated. Most acupuncturists would find it difficult to give a definitive answer to such a question. In fact, no one knows for sure. The most widely known written record of acupuncture is the Yellow Emperor's Inner Classic, which dates back up to around 200 BCE. This text describes the meridians as pathways through which qi flows, connecting the internal organs to the exterior of the body. There are 12 main channels, or meridians, which are associated with specific organs or organ systems in the body. Despite the fact that acupuncture has been used for thousands of years, the concept of channels has not been scientifically proven. Many skeptics of acupuncture argue that the concept of channels is nothing more than a metaphor for the nervous and circulatory systems. Channels are so important, but there are so many unanswered questions about channels. What are the meridians, really? Why are there 12 meridians? Who first discovered them and how? Why is it said that you can miss an acupuncture point but not a meridian? How do you know which direction a meridian runs? The development of ancient medicine in China is inseparable from the development of ancient civilization. The most important catalyst for the development of Chinese civilization was the conquest of the Yellow River. Like the Tigris and Euphrates in Mesopotamia or the Nile in Egyptian civilization, conquering this massive river required centralized power, and the development of pure sciences such as mathematics, geography, astronomy, and climate research needed to manage it led to great academic advancement. Due to this development, ancient Chinese people were completely absorbed in the concept that governing the water is governing the country. By laying waterways to manage water and preparing for droughts and floods, they unified China, transformed from an ancient state to a modern one, and built a highly advanced civilization. The Chinese naturally hypothesized that there must be a system like rivers in the human body as well, and we can manage our body and cure diseases by controlling them, a hypothetical energy flow system. In traditional Chinese medicine, the character Ji is used to mean to cure in medical contexts, but its original meaning is to govern or manage. In fact, this same character is used in the phrase to govern a country. Sometimes the character Ju, which means to govern as a master, is used instead of Zi. For Chinese people, this concept of treating illness actually originated from the idea of water management. Their understanding of medical treatment evolved from the fundamental concept of governing or managing. Likewise, the theory of meridians is thought to have been developed by the ancient Chinese when they were managing the Yellow River and applied their knowledge to the human body. This is known as the hydraulic model theory. The first person to advocate the hydraulic model theory was Joseph Needham, who wrote in Celestial Lancet that from the beginning there was a terminology there that resembled that of hydraulic engineering, among which were tuan, jilu, spillway, reservoir, lake, etc. This analogy is clearly stated in the Lingshu. This passage about the meridians and meridian waters addresses that meridian water supplies water and meridians supply blood to internal organs. Ancient Chinese people believed that there was a system similar to waterways in the human body that delivered blood and water. In this passage, qi is not mentioned, and the system is described only in terms of its function of delivering water and blood. Japanese scholar Kanu Yoshimitsu said, "I believe that in parallel with empirical medical practice, meridians through which water and blood pass were imagined as a physiological mechanism, and the concept of meridians was deduced from a hydraulic model." 3 hypotheses of the formation of channels and points. Dr. Woojin Jung's study, The Origin of Meridians, offers several hypotheses about the development of meridian theory. From lines to dots, analysis of needle sensation. From dots to lines, empirical points to channel, feeling of qi flow while training qigong. 1. From lines to dots, analysis of needle sensation. The first hypothesis is that when acupuncture needles are placed, the pathway for the stimulation to spread is the meridian. In the Neijing, it is said that if you needle precisely at an acupuncture point, the needle sensation will spread along a specific path. People often report that acupuncture induces a distinct sensation that is transmitted along a particular pathway. Perhaps individuals in the past were more attuned to these sensations. Nowadays, with an abundance of stimuli such as smartphones and earbuds, we have become desensitized and less sensitive. To address this, researchers devised an intriguing experiment to enhance our sensitivity by utilizing an isolation tank or sensory deprivation tank. The first tank was designed in 1954 by John C. Lilly, an American physician and neuroscientist. He designed the tank to study the origins of consciousness by cutting off all external stimuli. Researchers designed the tank to study the origins of consciousness by cutting off all external stimuli. Subjects are deprived of all sensation but the needles in the tank, so they are more sensitive to the sensation of the needles, so they record the sensations that are transmitted. They used laser acupuncture instead of traditional needles. The results are shown below, and while they do not completely match the meridians, they do show similar transmission pathways. These experiments support the idea that meridians are a representation of the transmission pathways that the ancients were able to sensitively feel when they placed acupuncture needles. Sensations radiating from where the acupuncture needles were placed. From dots to lines, empirical points to channel. Another hypothesis suggests that empirical observations led to the development of meridians. That is, acupoints as treatment points were discovered empirically, and these acupoints became interconnected, which eventually led to the understanding of meridians. Through experience, people began to analyze many therapeutic points, identifying similarities in their properties and effects. They then connected the points with corresponding internal organs based on these shared characteristics. For instance, after recognizing several points effective for treating coughs, they linked the meridians to the lungs, the organs responsible for coughing. This theory posits that with increasing medical experience, more acupuncture points were discovered, and the understanding of meridian pathways evolved into the complex system we know today. However, this hypothesis has been challenged by the recent discovery of an ancient text in the Mawangdui tomb, which features only meridian pathways but not points. 3. Feeling of qi flow while training qigong. The hypothesis that meridians were discovered through sensing and analyzing one's own qi flow during qigong practice posits that awareness of meridians came first, independent of acupuncture points. This contrasts with the previously mentioned idea that points developed into lines or meridians. Li Shizhen, author of the Benqiao Gangmu, contended in his book The 8 Meridians of Qigong that only those who practice qi can observe meridians. This hypothesis is supported by many qigong practitioners, some of whom criticize the notion that acupuncturists can accurately place needles without feeling the circulation of qi. However, this hypothesis is called into question by the fact that the conception channel and governing channel, which are most easily and clearly sensed during qigong practice, are absent in early texts and were not added to the 12 meridians until later. Additionally, there is an issue that the flow of qi experienced by many qigong practitioners does not correspond with the currently known pathways of meridians. Meridian system and blood vessel. Some scholars think the meridian system is another primitive understanding of blood vessel in ancient times. According to a story recorded in the Han Shu, the following incident took place. When the criminal Wang Sunqing was captured, Master Wang Mang ordered physicians and skilled butchers to dissect his body. During their detailed examination of the corpse, they used bamboo sticks to measure his blood vessels from beginning to end and declared, "This is the Mai, and by fully understanding this we can cure all diseases." Originally, the word Mai was used to describe a blood vessel. In the early days, only the term Mai had been used, and it was not until Chun Yui's Yi'an and in the Yellow Emperor's Classic that the term Jing Mai appeared. In the Yellow Emperor's Classic, there's passages in which we can clearly see ancient people thought Mai or Jing Mai as blood vessel. Qi conveys fluids, infuses them into mai, transforms them into blood, nourishes the extremities, and internally nourishes zhang and fu. The 12 meridians, Jingmai, run through the flesh, but they are deep and cannot be seen. The only visible Jingmai is the tarsal vein, which passes through ankle. Only this Jingmai is visible because there is nowhere to hide. This passage shows that the ancient Chinese conceived of Jingmai as blood vessels. While modern practitioners of acupuncture and herbal medicine consider meridians to be channels of qi, distinct from blood vessels, this separation wasn't present in early traditional Chinese medicine. Even today, when we claim to measure qi flow, we are actually measuring characteristics of blood vessel pulsation, showing how the concepts of meridians and blood vessels remain intertwined. Historically, mai or jingmai were thought of as pathways that transported water, qi, air, and blood to internal organs. It wasn't until around the Han Dynasty period that meridians gradually developed as a separate concept from blood vessels in medical history. The ancient Greeks believed that arteries carried pneuma, which is often translated into as qi, while veins carried blood. Similarly, during the Qing dynasty, Wang Qingren also stated that arteries are pathways for qi and veins are pathways for blood. This shows that the idea of blood vessels serving as pathways for qi and blood is not different between Eastern and Western perspectives. Conclusion. We've explored various theories on the origins of meridians, but many questions still remain. Let's go back to the question we asked at the beginning. What exactly are meridians? Why do we have 12 of them? Who first discovered them, and how? How can we determine the direction a meridian flows? Can you answer these questions now? In perspective of history, there is no definitive proof regarding the existence of 12 meridians, whether they correspond to blood vessels or other anatomical structures, or even the direction of their flow. What we do know is that meridian theories have evolved over time, as knowledge and experience accumulated. It's clear that the meridian system didn't suddenly appear all at once, as if it were a divine revelation or a gift from extraterrestrial beings.